Hello folks, it's Adge here with episode 2 of the Sim Airport Let's Play. It's a new series that I'm trialling. We've got our skeleton airport set up. It's quite small at the moment. We have flights booked for the upcoming day. We have retail stores in place. We have a security zone set up, ticketing, desks and a gate. All we need to do now is await our first passengers. Our first flight is at 6 AM, so I would imagine we'll start seeing passengers arriving within the next hour. I did one job with that. We can. Here we go. We've got passengers now starting to arrive, so we'll slow the game down. We need to set some more research, so we'll research operations, which allows us to hire a chief operations officer. We can already hire a chief financial officer, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is build an office. In fact, I'll get two prepared. I want to rezone this area as office. So that will be office. That shall be office. So we'll get these walls constructed. We'll get the required objects put in place, such as an office desk and an office chair, and that's all they need to be considered valid rooms. So if we increase the speed while our guys go ahead and get them put in. Obviously we'll now need a door into each office. What we can do after that is go into our staff and hire a CFO, who will come ahead and just claim one of these offices when they arrive. There we go. So once we unlock our chief operation officer, we can he'll take that office. So our passenger rate is passenger satisfaction is on the increase at 52%. Starting to make a bit of revenue on these two retail kiosks here. Same on our newsstand. Okay, so our first flight is just landing. Here we are. This is Pacific Airlines 1598. It's arrived 13 minutes ahead of schedule. It's going to make its way down to gate A1, where the passengers will disembark, and our awaiting passengers will begin the boarding process. Our next flight after that is expected at 7:45 AM with an expected departure time of 9:15. I expect most of these flights will depart early because they won't be full. So here's our passengers now disembarking the arrived flight. They'll make their way through the airport. They'll wait for the bags to be dropped off by the golf cart while we, because we don't have a baggage system set up yet. And then they'll go ahead and make their way out of the airport. Some more items I want to actually build at this point are self-service ticketing kiosks, which will reduce the pressure on our ticketing desks, because passengers who don't have any checked baggage can instead just print their own boarding pass at these kiosks, and then they can go straight through security. And that means they've got more time to spend in this area, which obviously should increase the amount of money we make on these two stalls here. That plane's now departed. It's just taxiing his way to the airport now. To the runway, I should say. One modification I do want to make is to actually have a little exit from here round to this area, so that when the passengers disembark the plane, rather than, you know, streaming through this direction, they'll head out this way and then be brought out in the baggage claim section. I'm not sure if we have the money to do that at this point, but we can try. If we just pause it, then we can always cancel construction. So we want it to be 4 wide. If we go down, say 6, and then 4 wide again. Oh no, no, needs to go down further than that, so cancel that. Just pick up the foundation tool again. Down to about there. Run it across. And bring it in. So yeah, we can afford all that, that's no problem, so we'll go ahead and confirm that, rather than removing it. So our next flight has just arrived. Starting to make decent money on these stands now, which is excellent. Boarding is now in process. And he'll be departing any moment now. See if we've got any extra flights available to us at this time. Ah, we've got another A320 in a morning slot, so we'll go ahead and accept that. He can be assigned there. Don't have any PM slots just yet though. Hopefully they will come in time. What we want to do now is clear these walls out. We'll clear that one as well once they're finished. Lay some flooring down. And then we want to put a security exit in place. And a door in this section of wall as well. And then all the disembarking passengers, like I said, instead of trailing through the airport, they'll just come through their own dedicated exit and reduce congestion in the airport itself. So we can clear that now. And we can clear all of that. Or at least the walls. There we go, so we want a security exit now. Put him there. There we go. And then we want to put some flooring down. So they're not walking on bare concrete. We'll go ahead and put a different colour flooring for this. Because we want to be extravagant or something. There you go. So what we should see now is our passengers coming through this area. We'll go ahead and put a couple of those plants down in this area as well. Decor. Put one there. One there. And once that's finished, one there. So somebody's had a piss on the floor with the looks of it. Luckily a janitor was on hand to tend to that little issue. It's another arrival. So far, all of our arrival... Oh, we had one late arrival by 1 minute. But all of our departures have been on time. And this one only has 6 passengers, so it's going to be a very small flight. I expect an extremely quick turnaround on this one. In fact, he's fully loaded already, so he's already departing. So his scheduled departure time was 3:15, so he'll be around about 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Still no PM flights at this point, but that's fine. Let's check our research. So we can now hire our COO. And we'll go ahead and research bank loans. And hire the Chief Operating Officer. So over time, the amount of passengers on these flights will increase. As we saw on the flight management, on the flight status, our busiest flight today is actually this flight what's at the gate now, with 45 passengers on board. Obviously that'll all start to increase as our airport gains reputation. We've already increased to 64% passenger satisfaction. What we are able to do is we go to our finance hub. No, if we don't go to our finance hub, it's our operations panel. We can actually increase the amount we charge the airlines for using the runway, so we can double that to $800. And we can also increase how much we charge per passenger, and we'll increase that to say... Oh. Apparently I've already edited it, I don't remember doing that. Never mind. Regardless, so we're just going to let the game run for a while we build up some cash, because we're very low at the minute, we're just 6,000. If we can pick up any new flights for tomorrow, we could squeeze in one more flight in the PM. There we go, I'll take the 737. Okay. Now because of that, we may want to adjust our kiosk scheduling. Put 2 on from 7 till 8. Now it's quite crowded in this section, so once the money starts to accumulate, probably extend this all the way down to here, and likewise on the opposite side, to give more room for manoeuvre in this area when you've got passengers disembarking and waiting to board or queuing at these food kiosks and so forth. Okay, so that's all our flights done for today. All were ahead of schedule in terms of departure. We had the one late arrival just by 1 minute, which was aero time 2651. Tomorrow we have more flights scheduled, and we've actually had one airline cancel on us. That may be due to the fact we increased our runway prices. So let's go ahead and see if we can't... Oh, we already did replace him. It was this... Yeah, he was here, wasn't he? Yeah, so he's been replaced, so that's fine. Could probably squeeze in one extra morning flight as well. Let's have a look here. But we don't have any sizable aircraft. The E195 is only 90 pax max, so we really want larger than that. So now it's just a case of waiting until passengers arrive the next day. So I think that's a good point to wrap up this second episode. Relatively successful day there. Our pizza joint and coffee bar both made decent profit. Our new stand also turned a bit of profit as well. Airport's going along well. We met all our flight deadlines. We've had one cancellation on us already after we increased our runway usage price to $800 from $400, but that's fine. We replaced that without any dramas. We've done a bit more remodeling, and so far things are going pretty well. Could do with some more money, but we just have to wait for the money to accumulate over time, which will happen once we start getting larger planes and larger amounts of passengers, which, as we saw on our flight status for tomorrow, we do have a lot more passengers going to be using our airport, which is excellent. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope you'll join me for part 2, which will be part 3, which will coincidentally be day 3, when we should start seeing more and more people coming through the airport. So thanks for watching guys, I shall see you in part 3.